So in this example, we're going to go through the procedure of actually purchasing an inventory item and selling it to several different customers, and the processes that are required in order to do this correctly within the program. So I'm going to go to the Action tab over here and click this Documents. You see that I'm clicking the top portion of the Documents, which allows me to get into this Documents window, and I can click the drop down list and choose the one I'm interested in. Alternatively, if I click the bottom one, it can bring up the orders, and you can click there and you can see how then it takes up the full screen, which gives you a little bit more screen space to work with. It's important to notice though that you can close it over here like that. And also another tip here is that if you double click the menu, it'll hide the ribbon so that you can get more space like that. So in this case, in many cases, there's a hidden menu underneath here, and if you double click that, you get to see the full menu items. So that's quite a nice little tip that you need to know about when working with these screens. So clicking on the Documents tab, I'm going to go to the Orders, and now I'd like to create a new purchase order. Now, a purchase order is a legally binding document where you send a document to your vendor and inform them that you intend to purchase some product from them, and you need to clarify the amount that you intend to purchase and at what price. So in TurboCASH, there's two stages of this. One is an order and one is a purchase. You can liken this to an estimate, where you're giving a customer an estimate and they agree to the estimate and then you invoice them. The purchasing process is similar to that, where you create an order and then you turn that into an official purchase order. So right now I'm going to say I want to start a new one. And the first thing it comes up with is this window, which actually goes off the screen. Now in several cases you may have to move this window back in, and by simply dragging the top of the title bar, and then you get to see the full window available. Now again, this brings up the issue of trying to get as much screen space as possible. So again, if you need to click the full screen, you would end up seeing that full window. But if you've got limited space, you're going to have to learn how to drag these windows around a little bit and fit them into the available screen space. So right now it's bringing up my vendor accounts. I'm looking for a specific vendor. It is possible to come in here and type in a value. So let's just say I want to type in the word 1 over here and make the change to be the name, and then click filter. You can see it finds that specific vendor. So when you have a whole lot of vendors, you might need to quickly search for a specific vendor or a group of vendors. You can do it that way, and so this filter system is very, very useful. If you need to get rid of it, you just simply click clear and you'll get to see all of the vendors that you can use. In this case, I'm going to just choose one of these existing vendors. If I wanted to, I could click new and create a new vendor on the fly and then simply go from there. But for this case, I'm just simply going to double click that vendor, and you can see it opens up here. Now you can see the information about the vendor, and in this screen it's quite important to know that you can actually modify this. This little dotted line over here, you can either drag that up or you can simply double click that, and it hides the information of the vendor, giving you a full area here to actually enter the information of what you intend to purchase. You double click it again. In fact, you don't have to double click it. You're simply single clicking that will hide it or show it and give you some more space. Right, so now you intend to insert an inventory item that exists already. So you click the insert option and you get this list of inventory items. So it's again a lookup where you can type information in here. So if I want to come in here and choose a description and type in the word press and then click search, it finds all inventory items with the word press in it. So in this case, I'm going to choose the drill press. I want to pick up one of those, and I'm going to see that the unit doesn't have a pricing. That information must have got lost when I actually clicked the reset, which is a little bit distressing. Let's cancel out of that for now, and let's go directly to the inventory items and check them out first. So again, you can do searching for particular inventory items over here. You can click these dotted lines to hide them or show them. And here you can see that you can import spreadsheets or export your inventory items. This is a nice way of getting a whole lot of inventory items into the system once. A good way of doing this would be to export the existing items to create a spreadsheet, and then to modify that to see the format, and you can then import it back all via your Dropbox account. Let's temporarily hide that out of the way, and you can see all of the different inventory items here. Again, you can simply do a search by clicking in the description. Let's type in everything related to press and say search, and you can see only the inventory items that have the word press in it are highlighted. If you click clear and then click search again, all of the inventory items come back. Also in this screen, it is possible to scroll this way to actually view with the horizontal, to view the other information that is available. Each inventory item, if we edit it, has been pre-configured to work specifically with this accounting system according to the different tax accounts and sales accounts and inventory control accounts. So in this case, this is a physical item, so it has an inventory control, a cost of sales, and a sales account, and when we sell it, it has an associated tax account, and and when we're purchasing, typically we don't have to pay tax. This is all of these are variable, and you will find that international people do pay tax on when you're purchasing an inventory item, and that has to be recorded. So input tax you can think of as purchasing tax, and output tax you can think of as your sales tax, and you can adjust these to relate to the specific item that you're using. If you have a look here, you'll see there's several different types of inventory items that you can have. In this case, we've created different reporting groups, labor and BOM and options and sales. But in many cases, you want to create have sales with no inventory. That would be that typical item over there. And each one of these items over here are physical items, or you can even have a bill of materials where you have a collection of items under one umbrella item. And these can be exploded or grouped together to give you the desired package that if you want to sell each of these individual package items. If you intend to create new inventory items, I would highly recommend selecting one of these existing items and then choosing copy from. It will then make sure that all of these default tax items are already stored in there, and then you can adjust the cost, etc., that you want to, and put in your own inventory item codes and change the type of, you don't have to change the type of these of inventory item that it actually is. In this case, I simply want to modify this and change the pricing here. So in this case, I'm going to come in and I'm going to adjust the cost. So let's just click this item here so that we can get to see everything that we have here. And I'm going to change the latest cost of this particular item to be 159.95 as the cost for this specific item. And then we can click save, and then we come back down to the drill press and we hit edit over there, and we adjust the cost for this particular item, and the cost for this particular item is 139.95, and we can click save. So once you have edited your inventory items, we're now ready to go to the orders. So clicking the Documents tab and clicking the drop-down list and choosing Orders will give us the Orders page. I'm going to click New because I want to create a new purchase order. I now have to select my vendor. Again, you can see I can drag this window around up and down to make sure I can even resize it if need be, and then drag it so that it fits in the screen, or make it even a little bit wider if I need to. Now I can select the existing vendor. Again, if I needed to create a new vendor, I could simply click New and create this on the fly. In this case, I'm simply going to choose this vendor here, and you can see the main information about it. Now, this would be your reference, meaning that that would be the reference of your vendor. So if they've given you an estimate or something like that, you would put their estimate number in there. You can choose the date, which would be today's date, and then any other pertinent information. You can click this to give yourself a little bit more space, and then you can click the Insert option to get the inventory lookup. So if I was to type in press up here and click search, it's going to show me all the inventory items with the word press in it. If I click clear and hit search again, it shows me all the specific inventory items. And you can look up by description or code or barcode or any of these other descriptions to help you quickly find the particular inventory item that is of interest to you. In this case, I'm going to choose the drill press and double click that, and I'm going to want 2 of those. So ask for 2 of those, and here is and then I can click Insert, and then I'm going to choose the compressor, and then double click that, and we can see now we have the compressor and drill presser. And so now we have the inventory items over here. You can see the total amount is displayed down at the bottom, and then you can click OK. And do you want to print this purchase order? You say yes, and it creates this preview of what the printed document is going to look like. If you do want to actually physically print this out, I would recommend that you save it to your Dropbox account, and then you'll be able to print that out, that PDF out directly from your printer. More typically though, what you will end up doing is you're going to want to email this to your vendor with a request to confirm that this is the correct amount. And in that case, you would right click and choose Plugin Actions and choose this Email Pro option. By default, you want to actually choose your different orders that you thing over here. So I'm going to choose Order 15 and a demo order, and then click Close, and then the email comes up, and you would type in a thing here saying, please confirm this order, and you would probably want to put your own email address in here, and you can preview this in a browser and see what it's going to look like, and that's what the email is actually going to end up looking like. Notice that this is being sent from a TurboCASH.us email account. If you want to go through and make changes and put this in your own, you can adjust the default settings here and put your own email server in there. But this has all been pre-configured to send this out from the TurboCASH.us email on your behalf. And then you would click Send, and that sends that purchase order off to your vendor, and then they will confirm the amounts and get back to you. If you need to then go and edit that purchase order and make a change to this, you would do that at that point. And what I want to show you here as well while we're here is that there is a status option over here that you can change it to be open or confirmed or posted. I typically tend to leave those alone, but you could, if you wanted to, adopt some methodology of choosing that to say that you've sent the order out, or you've received the order back, or you've received the inventory that really would be a matter of choice. I typically don't bother with that myself. I just leave that as it is. I make the changes and then say OK, and then I don't even need to print it anymore. I know what it says. But now I get a confirmation back from my vendor that everything is correct, and at that point I would then select the document and then click confirmation, and it says, do you want to confirm those orders? I'm going to say yes, I do want to confirm them. It says now, do you want to delete the order? Now this is important that you understand the difference. We're creating a purchase. This is an order, not a purchase order. This was the initial stage of this documentation process, but once we turn it into a purchase order, there's no need to have the purchase order lying around. You can choose to keep it if you intend to repeat order with that same thing and you don't want to have to create orders over and over again. You can simply use that same purchase order. But in this case, I'm just going to say, yes, I do want to delete that order. And now it has been converted into a purchase. And so now we look at the purchase order, and it's exactly the same as what we looked at previously, but it is now what we call a purchase order. And it has that information, and you can again email that to your customer if you so desire by doing the plugin and emailing it out. Or you can just simply go now and post this to your books. So it's important that this is not actually in the books at this stage, and you do need to go through this process of clicking posting. And then it brings up this update purchases dialog, and you click update. Now let's go and quickly look at what has actually happened in this under the reports, just to be sure. So we go into the ledger account here. I'm going to turn this option off to ignore zero balances and then click report again, and you can see right now we've now got inventory items to the value of 439. We have accounts payable, that's what we owe that specific vendor, and there you can see the summary of what we owe him. If we like, we can print that, and you can see how the inventory has been debited and the accounts payable has been credited.